Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the Crypto Weekend watch list of Friday, July 8th. Today, right now, you're looking at the Bitcoin chart. Just a little recap of what has happened this week with the Voyager stuff and whatnot. Essentially, we haven't received any good news. I guess just more information. Voyager has filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which isn't the terrible bankruptcy. So that's good news. What comes with that is there isn't a guarantee as far as some of the understandings that I have come to know about recently is that there isn't a guarantee that you can really get all of your money back, especially because Voyager was FDIC insured up to 250K. That does not include crypto. That is just US dollars. So not clearly, and obviously you always need to do your own research on these sorts of things, right? Especially tax related and finance related stuff, right? I'm not an advisor. I'm not a tax professional. So please go visit those corresponding people. But it does seem like things aren't really moving in the direction that we want. Obviously, right? They just filed for bankruptcy, but they could be a lot worse. So with that, we really haven't seen a whole bunch of movement in the crypto market. There are people's theories that maybe it's because there's just not a whole bunch of liquidity in there, just because people aren't able to sell. We have had a move up recently. As you can see, this is on the 15-minute chart. It looks like we've got a trend going this way. Could even move it over and draw it here. It's probably even a better line. We came back down, bounced off this line. So this could be used as a secondary support. This is probably the primary support. We'll most likely follow this trend line until it's broken. Then we'll break back down, and we'll kind of just see where we go from there. You can always draw your fibs and whatnot to learn and kind of see where the projected retracements are too. But we did have a good move in crypto the other night. About 16 hours ago, we had a decent pump, and as you can see, we just absolutely crushed it. I didn't see any news that prompted this. It was a huge influx of volume that came in. We moved 10% right there. As you see, this volume is pretty heavy. 1.6 thousand Bitcoin were traded in 15 minutes. So 1.6K times the price of Bitcoin at that moment was about almost 22K. So you can do the math on that, on how much money just poured in onto this particular exchange of Coinbase. Just interesting stuff going on right now. The markets. I personally do not have a bias at the moment, long or short. Earlier this week, I was leaning bearish, and as you know from last Friday, I was bearish. We did have a 4th of July pump, and then we came back down, and then these last 2 evenings or so, we have moved back up. So I do know that Mr. SLP of our Discord, where we do some trading in, he called the bottom, and he had a pretty decent, I think it was about 17% move. So I believe he bought in around there. Let's see. Yeah, so roughly here. So he just timed that bottom nearly perfect, which is always awesome. But with that, not a whole bunch new has happened with the Voyager case and whatnot. Three Arrows Capital, as far as I've seen and heard and read, not a whole bunch of new news regarding that. The last I saw, the British Virgin Islands were still investigating them, and try to get some money back. Voyager is owed $650 million by Three Arrows Capital, which had, they just can't get that money, and so they're just $650 million in the hole, which really sucks. But it is what it is. It's a risky market, and it seems like just about every single exchange was over leveraged, except for Coinbase, right? They didn't have the lending programs that Voyager and some of these other, like Celsius and these other exchanges and platforms had. So I think the most you could really get from Coinbase was staking ETH for ETH 2.0, which is still locked up, and then some of their credit card, their debit card rewards that you could get. Um, so um, with that, we're kind of seeing all these exchanges becoming insolvent, and Sam Bankman-Fried has alluded to the fact that we don't really even know how many exchanges are insolvent at the moment. There could be a lot more, and we just don't know about it. There's some shady aspects to this market, but there's also lots of regulation and whatnot coming. And shady doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing, right? That may not have been the best word. It's just there's not a requirement to report, your finances when it's on the blockchain, right? Obviously, it's on the blockchain, but you can make guesses on who's who, but you can't really know for sure unless someone confirms it, and that would be the owner. So, with that, you may be wondering what are the best exchanges to be trading on at the moment to feel safe and whatnot. And personally, I feel the most comfortable with Binance.com, OKX.com, and Bybit. The reason for Binance is they're just the biggest, and they've got tons of safeguards in place, and I can't really ever see them going away. OKX and Bybit, they've got tons of money. They're giving out tons of giveaways and whatnot all the time. In fact, I could read you this email that I just received from OKX, and it split $160,000 jackpot when you invite friends to OKX. And so companies that are about to go bankrupt, I can't imagine would be giving away $160,000 just to invite your friends. It sounds like even they're trying to capitalize on all the people that are leaving these other exchanges by offering them money. So that's good news. As well as OKX and Bybit, they're both heavily sponsored in tons of sports, F1 cars and all that stuff. And so I can't imagine that the F1 companies and all this huge money that has backing these cars and these garages that race in F1 are making poor investment decisions, right? Like, some of them have budgets well over $500 million. And it's just a super expensive sport. So people that don't have money aren't really involved in that. That being said, if you're in the US, I know that Bybit, Binance, and OKX are a little difficult to use. I am still comfortable with Coinbase, and I don't believe Crypto.com will go down. I think Crypto.com will have some changes coming soon, and that may come with frozen withdrawals and deposits and everything that comes along with that. So I am more comfortable using Coinbase. They do have really crappy fees, but they're not going to go anywhere. There's a ton of money in that company, and they did well by not over leveraging on the lend program that they were expected to roll out, but they ended up not. Mostly due to government regulation and kind of getting a little slap on the wrist from the U.S. government. With that, let's see if kind of what I'm looking at for some entries. Oh, sorry about that. Let me get rid of these real quick. So just by glancing at this is only on the 15-minute. I'm going to pull up the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour in a moment. But a break underneath this yellow line right here, this top one, I would be comfortable in a short-term short position, maybe down to this trend line. And if you are looking for a risky play, you could hold and maybe even see if it breaks this secondary trend line. Maybe you're leaning bearish, and you'd like to capitalize on that. That being said, if you want a safer entry, maybe after a break and a close and hold under this trend line. I don't know when that could be. That could be way up here and whatnot. But a break and hold under this bottom trend line. So I can't really give numbers on that, right, because it's continuous. But just by glancing at this and doing your own charting, you could make the same inferences. And I think this would be the safer entry. You would be missing out on a little bit of gains. So let's say it came down here. That's 1%. That could be pretty heavy on a 50x leverage play. But I would be most comfortable after the second bottom line is broken, held and broken. Watch for retests. Oftentimes we can expect maybe we come down here, right? Break it. Maybe we come down and then a retest back up, and then we'll come back down. And if you're in a short, I hope it goes down to 0 for you, and I hope you make a ton of money on it. So this would be something that I would essentially probably put about a 25 to 30x leverage on. I wouldn't go in too heavy with a 50x or 100x or even up to 125x. But I think this is a safe entry, especially if you wait for this retest right here. That's Emma Jam's jam right there. She just is constantly, watch her the retest and enter, and she kills it constantly. With that, we can look at another one of my favorite coins. Let's do it. See if I have a clean chart. Avalanche USD. No, let's not do that one. Sorry about that. USD. All right. Here, perfect. 15-minute chart. And then after this, I'll go back to the hourly and 4-hour. We can kind of look at a larger time frame on Bitcoin. We kind of have the same deal here. It looks like for Avalanche. Yeah. So this is probably a pretty good trend line that it's following. It did break down underneath, but it's still following it, hitting its head now instead of using it as a floor. So likely this is the trend that we're watching. Yeah, so we bounced off this a few times right there. And yeah, we're just playing in between this channel at the moment. If you'd like a third one, and this is where the pitchfork comes in, if you'd want to see, we kind of have been, I don't like that actually. Let's go here and come back up, probably about right here or so. So yeah, we've hit our head a few times on this trend line. So we're currently in this lower channel. If you want to be a little risky, you could play the bounces off in between here. But if it is coming down, I would anticipate that Bitcoin is also coming down and that we could see a break of that other trend channel that I mentioned on the previous Bitcoin chart. So I would be just a little wary because, altcoins do follow and they're not the leaders. Yeah, but I would be more comfortable with a short position if we broke this trend line right here. Again, watch the retest. Or if we broke through this middle line, we could come up, then come back down a little bit. I'll do the drawing. Maybe we bounce off here. You play it up. Good play. Come here. A safe exit would be at this trend line. Maybe you want to sell half or 3/4 or so, because you think it's going to break above. Bitcoin's running nicely. I would expect a retest of the trend line, and then boom, and then back into a different trend channel. And anything can happen in here, but likely we'll be playing around in here for a little bit, and then maybe we come back down. So again, this is on the 15-minute chart. Make this a little, shrink it down a little bit. Kind of see we hit our head a few times, we bounced off here a few times, and this is our general trend right here. So that's what I'm watching. So for AVAX, a break of this trend line. So at the current moment, if things were to continue to fall, it would be a roughly, I suppose, if we broke down below $19.75, that is a good short entry. And if we broke up above, I would say $20.55, that would be a nice long entry. Again, use your stop losses and trade your plan. This is not financial advice ever. So long entry above 2055. Maybe you could wait above 2060. 2055 is a good number, I believe. And then below 1990 is where I would say for a short. If you want to be really safe about it, you could honestly wait till below 1940. We could, if we broke this, I'll box this for you. But if we broke right here, broke down here, we could see some anticipated downside. And this likely, if AVAX comes back down to these levels, we can likely see and assume that Bitcoin is breaking down as well. AVAX is currently at $20.06, so a 16-cent move down. And I would be comfortable in shorts, or maybe even a bounce and then play it back up, but likely shorts. And then again, above $20.55 for a long. And so let's go back to Bitcoin, and we'll kind of get a look at some of the Coinbase. Yeah, it was. We can take a look at the anticipated movement for maybe after this weekend. So For me personally, I was playing this. I was assuming that right here, I will again circle real quick. Apologies. Right here, I thought we were going to have a Bart Simpson. If you don't know what a Bart Simpson is, just look up the Bart Simpson chart on Google. It's quite amusing. People have made some pretty good images with it. But essentially, it's like Bart Simpson's hair. It goes straight up, and then it kind of is wiggly, and then it comes straight down. And so I just had seen these two candles right here, and then a little bit of sideways action, and I assumed we were going to have a Bart Simpson. Maybe we continue that sideways action, but we didn't. We actually had that nice push that I was talking about the other day. And so with that, we are actually kind of just trading sideways at the moment. Again, yeah, I'm not leaning any direction at the moment. We're kind of at a good channel right here. We did break above this high, this resistance that we had. We're now back at it. This would actually be a good support zone. I'll draw a horizontal line. So roughly 21,600 to 750, somewhere around there. But our next zone to break, of course, is all the even numbers, right? So 23K, 22 and 22.5K, and so on and so forth. We do have a gap to fill here, right? Doesn't look like there's at least back until June 7th. There's not a whole bunch of resistance. So once we do break into here and maybe news is looking a little bullish, we could fly. We could fly all the way back up to 28K ish, 27K. Which would be a phenomenal move, especially if you grab some Bitcoin in the teens down here, right? So that would be a 50% gainer right there just from a couple weeks ago. But as you can see, if you guys want to see a Bart Simpson, like right here, this is a Bart Simpson. Straight up, sideways, straight down. Straight up, sideways, straight down. So there's your Bart Simpson lesson for the day. But yeah, again, I'm not leaning a particular direction. But if I had to choose, I am bullish on Bitcoin. Even though some of the other altcoin charts are leaning a little bearish to me, I am a little bullish on Bitcoin at the moment in crypto. I think there can only be good news to come from all this bad news that we've seen. There's going to be some people getting bailed out, and a lot of people are going to be happy about that. So with that, I'm going to kind of wrap it up. The trade was, if Bitcoin breaks that lower trend line, this is what it was: lower trend line, down, short it, and I don't have a long position. I think Bitcoin at this level is great long term, no matter what. But if you want to trade, I would say a risky entry would be at about 21,985, with a safer entry with a close above 22,170. Again, none of this is financial advice. And then the other trade was the AVAX. Let's pull that up. So another trade was AVAX, and anywhere in this area for a short. Again, the higher up you are, the riskier. And if we completely break down below this low, I think that at that point means Bitcoin's coming down and everything will be coming down. And then again, playing these trend lines right here for AVAX. So I think my number was $20.55 for long, and about 1980 for the risky short, and then to be completely safe, 1940. However, I would personally, I don't recommend this, of course, but I would be legging in slowly. And then if you just see this break of a trend line anywhere up there. So I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Come check us out if you're into leverage and shorting crypto. Come check us out in Titan Trading. And if you would like some crypto education and to kind of trade some stocks and options, maybe you don't want to be directly involved with crypto, come check out Penny Boys at pbalerts.com. That's where you can also find Titan Trading. And we have crypto education. We've got, you want to trade stocks related to crypto because you don't want to be directly involved. Come check them out. And with that, I'm going to end the stream, and thank you all for listening. I hope this just a little crypto weekend recap. So I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye, everyone.